Hi guys, I want to talk to you about the difference between Canada and United States. If you had to live in a country, which one is best for you? Okay, and I will insist on best for you, on your lifestyle, the amount of money you have, how can you live in one country versus the other to be able to get what you want in life, okay? Not a competition like, we don't have pennies in Canada, we say a boot or we say sorry too much. That's not the point. I want to talk about the real deal, the stuff that's going to really matter to you on your daily life according to what I have experienced in my 3 years living in New York and my lifetime in Canada. So let's start with the medical care system. Completely different in both countries. Canada has universal health care system. In the United States, you have a system with an insurance. If you don't have insurance, you have to pay out of pocket. Now, which one is better? Well, a lot of Canadians are not gonna like it, but I will say that the system in the US is better if you have money. It's conditional. I live in the States with $36,000 a year insurance paid by the organization. Okay, so we paid $1,000 a month, they paid $2,400 a month. Now that's a lot of money. So if you have $36,000 a year paid for your insurance, trust me, you're gonna have amazing service. I have calcification in both shoulders. It took me 9 months to get this one done in Canada. Didn't pay a penny. It cost about $100 a copay to do this one, but it took less than 2 weeks. Okay, so yes, when I go to the doctor in the States, it's super fast. The modern hospitals are beautiful. The doctor's clinic, they have very, very small little waiting areas because you virtually never wait as opposed to Canada. But yes, you have to pay every time. I go to CTMD, it could cost me $1,200. Of course, it's only $20 with the copay, but the idea is this. I still have to pay the monthly medical care. So if you have a lot of money, the States is better for that. If you don't, if you're an immigrant, if you have minimum wage, if you're an entrepreneur with a small business, a restaurant or something, and you risk hurting yourself and losing your business, you don't want on top of that being in financial debt because of your medical care. And this is where Canada is better for that. Okay, and I wish the US had something like that. But anyway, right now their system is great when you have money. Buying a house in Canada versus the United States. My view has completely changed since I bought my house in the States, okay? In Canada, it's so easy to buy a house and selling houses, okay? You go to notary, within a few days, it's done. In the US, it's very tough. Lawyers on both sides, a lot of issues, okay? It's very tough there. The laws and the lawsuits and everything and verifying titles and stuff take months, okay? This is a bit tougher. Also, because of the moratorium on eviction in the US right now, I have a dentist living in my property in New York, and that's what he's telling me.
And then he said what? Don't pay your rent for a year, that's okay? Cheat your landlord?
Hey, life is complicated, Mario. Life is complicated.
If worse comes to worst, this is going to basically cost you guys $30, $35, $40, maybe much more than that, $1,000 if we just say, fuck you, Mario.
That's fine, that's why you move.
Well, I'm glad you think it's that way.
Now that video was done in February. These guys are still in the house. They still haven't paid rent. They owe us $82,000. I cannot evict them. Okay, yeah, you can blame the Democrat government in New York for that. Okay, but basically, I'm completely done with the market in the States. Okay, because of this, because of the fact that right now it's shifted to a really, really pro-tenant, anti-landlord kind of feeling, and owning property in the United States right now is difficult. Also, Canada, 5% cash down, you can buy a house. In the US is 20%, and the housing market right now is basically booming both sides. Buying a house right now, very tough, either in Canada or US. A tough subject, but a subject that's true too. It's not gonna affect you really, but the school shooting issue in the United States. Since Sandy Hook, which was, if my memory serves me well, December 14, 2012, to today, 350 school shootings in the US, none in Canada. Yes, of course, it's a US problem. It's I don't know if it's a gun-related problem, educational issue, sadness, whatever. I don't know. I'm not interested really in the problem, but I have to admit that this is something you have to think about. Even if my daughter was going to school in a school that, cost $42,000 per year, okay, yes, the school brought us in for, clinic, talking, procedures, security, whatever, drills and stuff like that. This is something you'll never hear in Canada because we just don't have those. Okay, the last one, Polytechnique, 14 kids in 1994, very long time ago. Since then, gun control and all, that stopped. Okay, so since we're on the subject of school, I'm gonna say that yes, schools in the United States, you can have private school that are super expensive, and I think they're very good as well. My daughter was going at Ackley. Ackley is a very, very good school in New York. And yes, it's, we do have private school in Canada, but we're not that much oriented toward these very high, like achiever schools and stuff like that, formative schools. We don't really have those. It's more of a standardized system. The education system is great in Canada. I mean, come on, we have the highest level of people finishing college in Canada than any other countries in the world, okay, versus 39 in the US. But again, if you have money in Canada, it won't really matter, okay? You will be able to send your kid to a private school if you don't have that much cash. In the US, you'll need a lot, but then you'll have a much better education. So yeah, again, having money in the US really helps. Guns in Canada versus the US. Hello, I have my license to acquire firearm. Restricted, unrestricted. What restricted mean? Handgun, no issues. I have a Glock 19. I can shoot it whenever I want, okay? But the idea is that you need to have a permit. You need to follow courses, very strict rules. If you have any kind of criminal record, if you have any kind of violent crime or whatever, you'll lose your rights, okay? You cannot just go buy a handgun like this. You're gonna have to go to the RCMP, get checked. When you renew your license every 5 years, they call your friend and ask. In the US, well, free for all. Liberal versus conservative. To be honest with you, are conservative or more liberal than Bernie Sanders, okay? So essentially, conservative in Canada are still talking about, the climate change. It's part of their agenda. It's part of don't talk about abortion, gay rights, gay marriage. This is done, okay? So we all have that. This is part of our rights. There's no such thing as the conservative trying to remove these. The Supreme Court of Canada is never going to even touch that subject again. That's it. It's just part of the fabric. In the United States, the conservative are super conservative. On both sides, okay, I would say the United States, the political climate is very bad right now, but honestly, it doesn't really affect you, okay? Yes, in my case, yeah, the stupid rulings in New York about the moratorium on eviction affects me and not being able to evict my tenant and again, losing, $80,000. But I mean, overall, the politics does not really affect you on a day-to-day basis. I don't think it's a reason not to move to the US because of the uncertainty about the democracy or something like that. I don't think that affects you personally. Canada has high taxes, but the thing is, everybody pays their taxes, okay? So even if you're a big corporation, you're still gonna pay your taxes, as opposed to the US, that the taxes might be much lower or for certain things, but of course you have less services, you don't have universal health care, but you're gonna have big corporation like Amazon who don't even pay a dime in tax, or okay, you're gonna have like people that Donald Trump who didn't pay a dime in tax in 5 years. That makes no sense, okay? In Canada, you can't do that. So you have a bit higher taxes, but you get your services for, and I think tax is more spread equally. And if you're very poor, you're not gonna pay any taxes anyways. So I think Canada's fair on that. The service. I think personally it depends, okay? As far as being nice and receiving a good service and people smiling and whatever, I think Canada has a better service, okay? We say sorry a lot and we're polite and nice, and yeah, that's just part of the fabric. But if you're talking about the rapid delivery of things, let's say Amazon, in New York I can get it same day, I can get it next day very quickly. In Canada, it's gonna be more like 2-3 days, maybe even 5. Price-wise, I think the prices in the United States overall, by my experience for most product, of course not an iPhone or something like that, that just go with the exchange rate, but for certain things like alcohol, wine, stuff like that, it's cheaper in the United States than Canada. That might affect your daily lives. So food and vegetables and the rest of the stuff, salmon and meat and stuff, that's pretty much the same. Heavily subsidized by the government. Canada, US, the same, right? Milk and butter costs very cheap in Canada, but not because the product is cheap, but because the government subsidized the farming industry. So yeah, it's the same both sides. Do I fear the police? Well, come on, I'm a white guy living in the United States with a diplomatic plate and a G4 diplomatic visa. No, I don't fear the police. But I would fear lawsuits, and I would fear in the United States a little bit if you fall into the the prison system, the jail system. If you get arrested in the United States, it could mean tens of thousands of dollars, huge bond, and the penalties are extreme. Okay, in Canada, for murder, you can get out of jail after 10 years. In the US, you can go on the electric chair. Okay, in the US, they have the death penalty. More people in jail than any other country in the world. I mean, seriously, 25% of the world population's in prison in the United States. It's a very punitive system. In Canada, our prisons are very relaxed. In the US, there's no limit to being in solitary confinement. In Canada, it's maximum 14 days, and you want to bring it back to 7 days. Okay, in most countries around the world is like that. So yeah, I mean, it's much easier to be in prison in Canada than the US, and there's less issues there. At a religious level, churches and stuff like that, way more prevalent in the United States, okay? You get the Bible Belt, you got the evangelical Christians and stuff. You're gonna have a lot more religiosity in the United States, okay? In God we trust on the bill, they say always, you know, like, so help me God and stuff like that. We don't say that in courts in Canada. The government's secular, they don't even say it. You're never gonna hear, you know, Justin Trudeau saying, you know, in God we trust, or God bless Canada or something. We don't... Religion is becoming a taboo subject almost in Canada, especially since the issues that we had with the residence school and the fact that now the Catholic Church has to apologize to Canada for this, and you know the church is in hot water with a lot of things. So I think that we're becoming less and less religious in Canada. I think the US is becoming less religious, but they're still very religious. So yeah, that's a big difference that I've noticed, but there's no issue to walk in the street with your religious colors or not. You know, in the States, you could have a huge cross, or you can have like the atheist sign, or, you know, say a religious slur or something. Like, nobody cares, okay? It's not like the Middle East, okay? So they may, you know, be very religious, but you're not going to have any kind of issues like that, or persecution or something like that. I didn't feel that. I didn't see that. Of course, I was in New York. Maybe it's different, but, you know, yeah, they're more religious. No, it's not an issue in your daily life as far as I'm concerned. The political situation. Well, yeah, of course, if you watch CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and the other, you know, right-wing networks, yeah, of course, okay, there's a lot of animosity and issues, and yeah, the political climate's very bad, the left versus the right, and the country divided, and the insurrection and stuff. Canada's none of that stuff, okay? It's very peaceful, no issues. And in Canada, I would say, for all the stuff that was said in the United States, like, you know, like some guys making videos, you know, like showing how he's gonna kill another congresswoman and stuff like that, never gonna happen in Canada, okay? If somebody were to hint anywhere near this in Canada, they would be fired immediately, or they would have to resign in shame, okay? This is not something we do. Should you open a business in Canada or the US? Well, for a guy who actually opened his business in Canada, operated his business in Canada, retired from a business in Canada, and had tons of money from research grants and stuff like that, help from the government, and, you know, the climate in Canada for business, the venture capitalist and everything, and the stock market and all that, it's there. Okay, but if you want to become billionaire, if you really want to do big, okay, if you want to have a huge market of consumers, the US is better. There are reasons why Elon Musk is doing good in the United States, and in, you know, despite the fact that he stayed in Canada for 10 years, if my memory serves, he went to the States because there was more opportunity in the US, okay? So yeah, a lot of people start in Canada and they sort of gravitate towards the US because of the pull of the, you know, the attraction of the bigger potential. So yeah, doing business in the US is better. Of course, tax-wise also, okay? From zero taxes, I mean, you cannot really beat that. Not that it is zero, but, you know, if you want to manage your business like Amazon did and other business did, I'm assuming that at one point you can bring your business to not paying any taxes. Not that I say you should, but yeah, it is a possibility, or at the very least in Delaware, very little. So yeah, US for business more than Canada, that's for sure. And that's it. I hope that helps, and give me a comment, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna try to do more of those video comparisons so you have ideas, especially if you want to move around the world. I might do something like Philippines versus US or something to give you an idea next. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, give me the thumbs up. I'll see you in the next video.